Then moving to the second neurodegenerative disease, it is Parkinsonism. We know Parkinsonism occurs due to deficiency of dopamine in the basal ganglia of the brain. But important to remember, in the basal ganglia, there is balance between dopaminergic and cholinergic receptors. Suppose we have 100 dopaminergic receptors in the basal ganglia, we have cholinergic receptor 100 also. So they remain balanced. Now, what happens in Parkinsonism is there is a degeneration of dopaminergic neuron leading to relative dopaminergic deficiency. So this lead to imbalance, and it is this imbalance which causes symptoms. So if we want to treat the symptoms in Parkinsonism, we have two options. One, we can increase dopaminergic activity. So make it 100, the balance will be restored. Or second, we can decrease cholinergic activity to 50 to restore the balance. So that means we can use anticholinergic drugs. So we can use dopaminergic drugs, we can use anticholinergic drugs. So we will discuss these one by one, starting with the drugs increasing dopaminergic activity. So if we see, this is the neuron which is storing dopamine. So this neuron is storing dopamine. So how this dopamine is produced? It is produced from dopa. So dopa is converted to dopamine, and that is stored in the neuron. Now, whenever the dopamine neuron is activated, it will be released. Then it will stimulate the receptors present here. The action will occur. But we need to stop the action also. Action of dopamine is stopped by two enzymes. It is metabolized by a MAO-B or by catechol orthomethyl transferase. So if we want to increase dopaminergic activity, the options we have are, we can give Levodopa itself. It will form dopamine. Second, we can give a drug which release dopamine. Third, we can inhibit MAO or COM, metabolism we can inhibit. And fourthly, we can stimulate the receptors. So four type of drugs we can use in Parkinsonism to increase dopaminergic activity. Let's start with Levodopa or dopaminergic drugs. So drug which is a dopamine precursor is Levodopa. Levodopa. Okay. So important point about Levodopa to remember. So this is our brain. It is bounded by blood-brain barrier. This is blood-brain barrier. So a problem in Parkinsonism is there is a deficiency of dopamine in the brain. We cannot give dopamine because it do not cross the blood-brain barrier, this red line. So instead of that, we need to give Levodopa because it can cross the blood-brain barrier. And in the brain, it is converted to form dopamine. So Levodopa is a prodrug. It is activated to dopamine. Now, problem is Levodopa can be converted to dopamine here also. The enzyme is dopa decarboxylase. And whatever dopamine is produced here is a waste because it cannot enter the brain. And almost 99% of Levodopa is converted to dopamine here. Only 1% is able to enter the brain. So most of Levodopa is a waste. Second, this dopamine do not enter the brain, but it starts stimulating the receptors outside the brain, D1, beta 1, alpha. So stimulation of D1 result in vasodilation, which can cause hypotension. Stimulation of beta 1 can cause tachycardia and arrhythmias. Stimulation of alpha 1 can cause vasoconstriction. So these side effects can occur. Second, dopamine can enter the brain but outside the blood-brain barrier. So here it can stimulate the CTZ, which can result in nausea, vomiting. So if we give only Levodopa, we have two type of problems. One, less entry in the brain. So less efficacy. Second, these peripheral side effects of dopamine, including hypotension, tachycardia, hypertension, and vomiting. So the solution to this problem is Levodopa is always given with peripheral dopa decarboxylase inhibitor. And this peripheral dopa decarboxylase inhibitor is Carbidopa. Carbidopa. Another drug with same mechanism is benserazide. So whenever we add these drugs to Levodopa, so Levodopa cannot form dopamine outside the brain, almost all enter the brain, form dopamine, treat Parkinsonism. So what are the advantages of Carbidopa? Number one, less peripheral side effects. Number two, more efficacy. But if dopamine is excessive in the brain, like if we give Levodopa excessive, dopamine increase in the brain, even that can cause side effects. Remember opposite imbalance. So if dopamine becomes more in the brain, it can lead to psychotic side effects. Remember Parkinsonism and psychosis are opposite conditions. Psychosis occurs due to excessive dopamine in the brain, and this psychosis can manifest as abnormal behavior like hallucination, delusions, etc. Abnormal behavior and abnormal movements. Okay. So these are the side effects of levodopa when given in excess, but these side effects cannot be decreased by carbidopa because the function of carbidopa to increase dopamine in the. Okay. So coming back to our table, so dopamine precursor was levodopa, and we discussed levodopa is always given with carbidopa or benzodiazepine. Then drug releasing dopamine. So this drug, it is amantadine. This act by releasing dopamine. So drug releasing dopamine is amantadine. Amantadine, important points to remember. Number one, it is an NMDA blocker also. NMDA blocker also. So this is the only drug in Parkinsonism which treat dyskinesia. Most other anti-Parkinsonian drug cause dyskinesia. This treat dyskinesia. Then we can inhibit the metabolism. You see, metabolism, two enzymes, MAO and COMT. So the drug which inhibit MAO-B is salazil and rasazil. Whereas the drug which inhibit COMT are entacapone. The drugs ending with capone, entacapone and tolcapone. These are COMT inhibitors. Then next we can do is we can stimulate the dopamine receptors. So the drugs which are dopamine agonists, these include pramipexole and ropinirole. Pramipexole and ropinirole are dopamine agonists, and these are now considered to be the drug of choice for Parkinsonism. Remember, levodopa is most effective drug for Parkinsonism, but because of side effects, it is not the drug of choice. But the drug of choice, if asked, it is pramipexole and ropinirole. So these are the dopaminergic drugs. Now, second group we can use are anticholinergic. We want to restore the balance, and these are particularly used in drug-induced Parkinsonism. They are drug of choice for drug-induced Parkinsonism. And anticholinergic drugs, main drug is benzohexole. The other name of this drug is trihexyphenidyl. Trihexyphenidyl or benzohexole are same thing. Apart from this, we have drugs like benztropine, biperidine, procyclidine. All of these are central anticholinergic drugs, and they are drug of choice for drug-induced Parkinsonism. If these are not given in the option, then we can use an antihistaminic drug with strong anticholinergic property, which is promethazine. So if these are not in the option, then you should mark the drug of choice for drug-induced Parkinsonism as promethazine. Okay, so that is about the anti-Parkinsonian drugs.